What is up, my dudes? It is your boy Drew here from MechWorks today, going over 5 things that I really love about my S54 E30. You guys really didn't seem to care for the video. 5 things I don't like about my S54 E30 because you guys thought I was hating on it, which I'm not. So today we're going over 5 things that I really like about the S54. Let's get to it.
Now turn up.
All right, guys, first things first, shirts. Make sure you go get one from E30stuff.com. The link is down in the description. They are awesome. It looks weird because my microphone's under my shirt. But yeah, I really love this shirt. Great quality stuff. Absolutely love it. So, number 2 on the list, yeah, on the GoPro today, it's just really easier to film on the GoPro than it is getting my camera rig out. Plus, I think it's dead anyway. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into that. Number 3, my garage is a mess. I haven't been home the last like 3 months, which is why videos have been slow. So other than that, let's get into it. Number 1 on the list is the most obvious: power. Everybody wants more power out of their E30. In this video, I've went over why you should do it, and power was one of the biggest ones. And man, there's just, the S54 is unique in its own way. You know, it makes a lot of power for being a 3.2 liter straight 6, and then not a whole lot of torque. But that's a good thing, because when you have something as light as the E30, you don't need 500 pound-feet of torque. I mean, you need a lot of horsepower, not a whole lot of torque. And then you have your LS guys that like to make that perfect horse pork of, you know, like 375 horsepower, 375 pound-feet of torque. It's great. It's awesome. I've driven an LS1 E30. Absolutely mental. And I really can't wait to get the S62 E30 done, because I know that's going to be even more crazy. But yeah, I mean, power. Everybody wants more power out of their E30s. Everybody obviously wants to make cars fast. Even Prius owners are like, hell yeah, how do we turn up the voltage in these things? So yeah, power. That's number 1. That's my favorite thing about this car. You put your foot down even in 6th gear. I have a 373 LSD in here, and it just goes. I could be on the highway at like 65, 70 miles an hour, and I want to get around a guy. I don't have to downshift. I just kind of ease my foot down, and I'm gone. That is the other thing, too, is looking down and seeing that you're already well over 100 miles an hour. Which I don't do. I've never done over 100 miles an hour in this car. So for all you Fed boys listening to this video and all you YouTube bots watching this, I never went over 100 miles an hour in this car. So let's move on to number 2. All right, number 2 on this list, for me personally, has to be the simplicity of the swap. To me, and I know this is just my opinion, to me it's really not that hard of a swap. I mean, I'm taking on an S62 swap, and there are, you know, differences between the two, obviously, but it's just basically an M50 that makes way more power and sounds way better. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You know, you're not cutting up the body to get things to fit. You're not having to get all kinds of custom parts. When I did this video, which was how much does it cost to do this, yeah, there was a couple custom parts. The route that I went, the oil pan and the subframe together, and then the shifter. At the time, there was no shifter for this build, so I had 2 companies build me a shifter. Anyway, without getting into too many details, the swap really isn't that hard. It's all OEM parts. You know, the drive shaft is from an E36 M3 automatic. The diff is still factory E30. The axles are factory E30 for now. You know, everything just kind of goes together. So you're not cutting up the car. You're not needing 55 different car like chassis parts just to get this engine to fit. So the simplicity's there. Again, this is just my opinion, because there's somebody who doesn't know how to turn a wrench, looks at an engine swap, like the difficulty of putting people on Mars.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
So, you know, it's all relative. It's all, it's how you feel about it. But really, I mean, the swap isn't that hard. It took me about 2 months to do the swap, coming home after school and work every day. So, or work and then school, and still doing it. So not really hard. So let's get on to number 3. Number 3 on this list, for me, again, all opinionated, and let me know down in the comments, if you would do the S54 swap. I really want to know what you guys think. But number 3 for me has to be, aside from the power aspect, my favorite part about this swap is its dual purpose. And I say that because you can just beat the shit out of this car. You can keep your foot planted down all the time. You can just drive the nuts off this car and then completely drive it around like it's stock, like a stock E30. It calms right down. It's not loud. If you want to know what this car sounds like, here's the exhaust videos. Make sure you go check them out. For real, if you guys want to know like everything about this car, go through my video list, and whatever you want to know about the car, the wheels, how I did my 5-lug, the exhaust, the interior, everything is here. But my favorite part is just the dual purposeness. You can take it out on date night, and it's, my fiance doesn't complain about it. She loves the fact that it's fast, but she likes that it's not loud, it doesn't drone. It rides very comfortably. But then if you want to stomp it, you stomp it, and this car just flies. And I absolutely love that about this car. I can't say it enough. I absolutely love it. I also have it on the sport switch, meaning I toggle back and forth between the sport mode, and that really, really transforms this car from fun to an absolute blast. So I love that about this thing. Let's go to number 4 before I keep rambling on about how much I love this thing. Number 4 on the list for me has to be the reliability. These are all big points for me. Reliability, hands down. This car's only left me stranded one time, and that was because the fuel pump solder joints broke. It was also like 6 degrees outside, so kind of understandable. Not the engine's fault, totally the fuel pump. Other than that, this thing's always started. This thing has always got me home. I've had ups and downs with it, but it's always gotten me home. It's never left me stranded. Of course, when I got the engine, I got it at 130,000 miles. But when I got it, I did my rod bearings and then the VANOS brick that's on the bottom. And if you want to know how to replace that, here's a video for that. Shameless plugs, I know. But that's it. And this thing's been a trooper. It's been really fast. It's been reliable. I have no problems out of it. I really don't. That's really a big hang up for a lot of guys that want to do swaps is the reliability. They're like, oh, well, I just want to do the LS because, they're so hard to kill. Yeah, but swapping the LS is painfully expensive. Parts for the engine are dirt cheap, but doing the swap itself is not. Which, then again, this swap really isn't that cheap either. But, and cheap, honestly, is a perspective word. If your budget is $10,000 for a build, yeah, probably not the best engine to pick. But if your budget's $50,000, then it's perfect engine. So it's all perspective, it really is. To me, I didn't mind the cost. That one's getting out of control, I can tell you that. But the biggest thing for this car is, aside from the power, is the reliability. It just works. And don't you start your shit either. Like, you better start tomorrow morning or I'm going to be mad. You always say that in these things, just like, I heard what you said about me being reliable. It'd be a shame if I took a shit. So, yeah, before I rant anymore, number 5. All right, guys, number 5, let me know down in the comments, again, if you agree with this or not. But I think my most favorite thing, aside from the power, is going to be the fact that I think the S54 is the best paired engine to the E30. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Oh, you could just turbo an M20. You can turbo an M50 or, do whatever you want. Yeah, I get it. But naturally aspirated, I think the S54 is the best pairing for the E30 when it comes to power and weight. Like, the power to weight ratio is what makes this car worth it. I know you guys are going to lose your shit down in the comments. I know you guys on Rev are going to just tear me up in the comments like you did on the 5 things that I don't like about the swap. Boy, you guys did not like that at all. But then when I put it into context, because I've had so many people asking me to do a video for it, you guys understood. But For real, my biggest thing that I love about this car is it's balanced. The power to weight ratio is right on point, and I absolutely love it. And man, I love this car, and I can't wait to get the S62 done. All right, guys, it's the end of the video, so if you got other things to do, bye. If you want to stay and watch the rest of this for another minute, please do. I want to say thank you to everybody around the world that has been supporting me on Instagram and Snapchat. It has meant the world to me. People from Dubai, people from Japan, people from Korea, people from Jamaica, the UK. You guys are just flooding my inbox with questions, wanting to do these swaps, and I think that's really cool. For those of you who don't follow me or want a way to talk to me, here is my Instagram. Here is my Snapchat. Snapchat's a little bit faster. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. I'm getting to you guys on Instagram, I promise. But with that being said, it's 2021. Let's please make it to the end of the year so we can focus on next year. Things are getting freaking crazy. So with that being said, I wish you guys the best. Remember to do awesome, be awesome, and stay awesome. You guys are the best. I'll see you next time.